So you've probably heard by now that artificial intelligence is exploding. Well, that is unless, of course, you're living under a rock, which means you probably won't be watching this anyway, so I digress. Here's the deal. Artificial intelligence offers a tremendous amount of value to any organization. Kind of a no-brainer, but there's a lot of misconceptions out there. And people are pretty big about doomsaying and telling us everything AI can't do and all the problems with it, rather than focusing on how it can make them more productive, how operations can improve dramatically, how customer service can be improved. That's what we're going to talk about in this video series that I'm starting here. We're going to start off with just a quick high-level overview with an intro to AI, and then we're going to move into ways that AI offers value to your business, ways that you can take advantage of this to become more profitable, and we'll look at some of those misconceptions. So, getting started with what is AI? Let's go. Welcome back. Thanks for all your support, all of your likes, your subscribing, all of that great stuff. It's awesome. I really appreciate it. Really helps. And I'm really looking forward to kicking off this series. We're going to start out with really, what is AI? So we're going to establish a foundational understanding of AI, and we're going to highlight the importance of AI in modern business context. Okay? So when we look at the definition and some of the basic concepts around AI, artificial intelligence, is the simulation of human intelligence processes by machines, especially computer systems. Now, if you put 5 data scientists in a room and ask them to define what AI is, they're not going to agree. Personally, when I think about it, I think about a sentient being that can think on its own, that can basically do everything by itself. We're not there yet. Some people think it's 5 years away. Some people think it's 50 years away. I guess time will tell. Now, when we look at some of the ways that we are using AI and some of the basic concepts when we talk about AI, it includes some kind of learning, right? So the system is learning what the data looks like. It's all based on data. So we talk about clean data, we talk about accurate data, all that stuff, right? It looks at reasoning. It looks at, what does my data model that I've created say, and how am I accurate by comparison? And then, of course, it has self-correction when we think about unsupervised learning and things like that. But I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. When did AI start? Look, this started back in the 50s, okay? We look at things like neural networks, deep learning networks, and some significant AI applications over the times. You look at IBM's Watson, you look at Google's AlphaGo, you look at the human parity awards that Microsoft has won, and so forth and so on. We've had multiple winters, AI winters they call them, and that was some kind of bottleneck, right? Generally, it had to do with hardware. It had to do with processing capabilities. Now, with the explosion of GPUs and all of this capability that is purpose-built for AI, the sky could be the limit, hopefully, right? Now, when we talk about AI in a business context, right, we have a few concepts we're going to talk about, but really, first and foremost, any organization that is harnessing and embracing AI, it can use it as a corporate advantage, as a competitive advantage, right? AI helps us to streamline operations, it helps us to reduce costs, and it helps us to improve decision-making processes. This gives our companies a significant edge over the competitors who aren't using the capability. And believe me, there are a lot of companies who are still not using it, they don't believe it, and they don't trust it. So this is your opportunity to rise above. Now, when we look at how it's being adopted, right, we're showing increasing trends of adoption across all kinds of various sectors, right? But The reality is, as I just said, not everybody's embracing it. So use it as your competitive advantage. Now, there are growth projections all over the map. You have organizations that could be using it within the next 5 years, every organization on the planet, and you could have some that could be 25 years away, right? The adoption of technology varies greatly depending on industry, individuals, all those kinds of things. So definitely something you want to keep in mind. Now, when we break down the basic components of AI, first and foremost, as I mentioned, is machine learning. And you've got a subset of AI that involves the use of algorithms to parse that data, learn from that data, and make decisions based on what it has learned. So I take a whole bunch of data, I bring it into a system, I compile all that information, and then I have a baseline set that I'm calling AI. We look at tools like spam filters, spell checkers. These goes back years and years, but it's all based on data. It's all based on machine learning models that help us to predict what the outcome will be. Then we have what's known as deep learning, which is really a subset of machine learning that uses neural networks with many layers, deep networks, right? And we use that to analyze various factors of the data. So now we're starting to create almost like a Rubik's Cube of data for that analysis, instead of looking at just a straight line projection with a simple machine learning algorithm. Then we look at things like natural language processing, right? And this gives us the ability for a computer program to understand human language as it is spoken and written. We're seeing this in a lot of different applications. Many tools give you the ability to dictate to them, ask questions of your data in natural language form as opposed to having to be very precise with what you're asking. It gives you the ability to talk more clearly and get a response back that makes sense. And that's certainly gotten very accurate with the onslaught of things like generative AI, ChatGPT, Google Gemini, Microsoft Copilots, and on and on and on. And then another major area would be computer vision, right? So this is a field of AI that trains computers to interpret and make decisions based on visual data from the world. So for a long time, these data models, these machine learning models, were designed by hand. They were actually, they were using a subset of images to classify those images. Here's a picture of a cat, here's a picture of a tree, here's a picture of a car, and so forth and so on. Now, this has gotten much more sophisticated, but it also has led to some challenges due to some of the data having inaccurate classifications, either due to human error, maybe some malicious intent, things like that. Now, again, we're going to talk about some common misconceptions around AI as we get deeper into this. We're going to clarify some of the myths that will take all of the people's jobs out there, that AI systems are infallible, it's only for tech giants, it's not telling the truth, it's bias, it's inaccurate. We're going to talk about all that stuff in a coming video. But for today, I just wanted to get started on that aspect of AI. And when we start talking about generative AI, we take it a step further, because what generative AI is really, it's a whole collection of data. The stats that I've heard is that the original ChatGPT 3 model was developed with 1.5 terabytes of data. Now this data is unstructured, right? We look at structured data versus unstructured data, structured being your tabular data, your databases, Excel spreadsheets, those types of things. Unstructured data, of course, being PDF files, Word files, documents, images, videos, audio, that type of stuff. That's all unstructured data. So we're taking a whole bunch of unstructured data, we're loading it into a system, we're memorizing all of that data. And then when you ask the prompt, when you ask your ChatGPT window a question, it is predicting what the proper response back should be, right? And so you ask a question of the prompt, and as that system is responding word by word, it's predicting what the actual response should be on the fly. So it's not a canned response as if you were going into a search engine or something like that. Anyway, that's where I wanted to get started. Looking forward to this series. I hope you all are as well. Remember, like, subscribe, help me out. Every way the channel grows really just is great. So please take that second to do so, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks all. Bye.